that is connected, that is prosperous, that is secure, and that is resilient. And I doubt there is anyone here that would disagree with any of those 5 goals. You may disagree about how we go about them, but you won't disagree on the goal. And one of my roles as U.S. ambassador here is to partner with Bangladesh in achieving these shared goals together. And so today, I want to go through just these 5 goals that we have in a little bit of detail on Bangladesh's contribution to them and about how we can work together with Bangladesh to achieve them. So the first pillar, free and open. So peace flourishes in an environment where nations can freely choose their own path, and partners and the people of each country are allowed to freely elect their leadership. So it's about respecting sovereignty. It's about promoting a system where each country is able to make their own sovereign decisions that best serve its interests. And I think the United States and Bangladesh share this commitment and advocate for a world where all nations' choices are respected and supported. We also seek to advance common approaches to critical emerging technologies, the internet, cyberspace, that protect privacy and human dignity. So, as Bangladesh approaches its national election in a couple of months, we, the United States, are prepared to extend our support to the declared goal of free, fair, and peaceful elections. Our goal is not to interfere in the elections. Our goal is to support a commitment that allows the people of Bangladesh to choose freely who they want running their country. I think you know that we speak out pretty frequently in support of this goal, that we speak out when we see, or believe we see, the systematic and pervasive oppression of journalists, of media personnel, and of human rights defenders, whose only goal is to hold the government accountable for what they do. Just last week, we hosted Dan Negrea, who's with the Freedom and Prosperity Center of the Atlantic Council here as a U.S. speaker. I think the key thing is that when we talk about free, fair, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, we're often talking about it from a values-based, and we simply believe that that's the best way to go forward. What was fascinating about what Dan Negrea brought here and through his research at the Atlantic Council is he was able to demonstrate using real data that a strong rule of law, that democracy, that free and open markets are the best way to achieve national prosperity. That it is not the opposite, that you have to develop first and then bring about rule of law. But that rule of law is critical to advancing prosperity. The second area, in which I'll talk a little bit more about, because the Vice Chairman also did, and because I think it's a critical thing, is about connected. And this today is part of being connected, of connecting with you, of having this conversation. Because in reality, the people-to-people contacts and interaction are probably more important than the government-to-government interactions. That the number of the bonds that we create between and among people through doing business, through study, through travel, those are the things that really facilitate understanding and collaboration. And those are one of the areas where we at the U.S. Embassy are really trying to build the people-to-people relations, because they really bridge our people, and when they bridge our people, they bridge our governments. So through U.S.-sponsored exchange programs, we've had the opportunity to build these lasting friendships between Bangladeshis and Americans. And this is the strong foundation that builds upon our future. I'm proud to say that Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was one of our earliest participants in an IVLP program before Bangladesh's birth, but I hope that it played a key role in his vision. So in 1958, he came to the United States on a US-sponsored visitor program. And since then, we've had more than 6,500 other Bangladeshis who have taken part in these programs. I also want to thank NSU here for hosting some of our Fulbright scholars and our English language fellows, both Bangladeshis and Americans, who continue to boost our intellectual and cross-cultural capital and continue on that vital use of English language, not because Bangla is in Kubalo, but because it is the international language that people communicate in. Also, North-South University is one of the largest institutions in Bangladesh that send students, graduates to the United States for further higher education. And I think that's fabulous. Bangladesh is currently the 13th largest sending country of students to the United States. And our goal is not to rest on the laurels of that, because in reality, Bangladesh is the 8th most populous country in the world, and me being an economist, that means it should be at least the 8th largest sending country of students to the United States. And it's something that we will continue to work on. Last year we had almost 11,000 Bangladeshis studying in the United States, and we're looking to increase that number. I hope that some of you were able to participate earlier this month in meeting the 31 US universities that came to Bangladesh to explain what they have to offer. I know that we had more than 8,000 people visit us either in Chattogram or here. I also, as we're speaking about it, there's a lot of, well, in every realm, there is a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. We have Education USA centers in Dhaka, Chattogram, Sylhet, Rajshahi, and Khulna, and they have a website too. But Education USA is the only entity in Bangladesh that provides free, I say this again, free, unbiased information on the wealth of universities in the United States, how to apply for admission, and how to seek out scholarships. So now let's focus on the third pillar, prosperous. The US government is committed to promote broad-based prosperity so that no country is left behind in the 21st century. And so ensuring the steady economic growth of Bangladesh, of ourselves, and of the region, and of the world is a key component to that strategy. Because economic growth is a cornerstone of peace. It provides opportunities for people to improve their lives, lifts millions out of poverty, and reduces the risk of conflicts born out of desperation or inequality. The United States and Bangladesh share a vision of economic prosperity for all. Through trade, investment, and development cooperation, we're committed to improving the livelihoods of our citizens. And in that regard, the United States is the largest foreign director in Bangladesh. We are the single largest market for Bangladeshi products in the world. And those are numbers that we're trying to improve upon. Just last month, we had a delegation from the United States, US-Bangladesh Business Council, which brought a huge number of business people looking for opportunities here. And just yesterday, we held our Trade and Investment Framework Cooperation Agreement discussions here in Bangladesh to explore new opportunities to build on it. The fourth area is secure. We're working together to boost regional security and stability and global security and stability, because security is essential for lasting peace. It's about creating an environment where nations can thrive without fear of conflict or aggression. I think we simply look at what's happened in Ukraine to understand how you cannot thrive if there is conflict or aggression not only in Ukraine itself, but how the global community has been negatively impacted by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United States and Bangladesh stand together in our commitment to regional security and also to international security. When the Prime Minister visited Japan last year, she declared that she viewed the invasion of Ukraine by Russia to be illegal under the UN Charter. And so we are proud to continue to partner with Bangladesh on these challenges. Yes, the United States trains, provides equipment to Bangladesh security services, including the armed forces and the Coast Guard. And I think it was key that I believe our moderator spoke about last year how the Center for Peace Studies partnered with the Bangladesh Army on International Peace Day. And so developing military capabilities and security capabilities is actually an essential part of building and securing peace. The United States has provided Bangladesh with a significant amount of equipment for your maritime security, also unmanned, especially unmanned aerial systems, better known as drones, to help you monitor what is going on in your vast territorial waters and to make sure that they are neither being invaded nor that people are illegally fishing in your waters. And in addition, this cooperation helps combat violent extremism, cross-border drug trafficking, and as I mentioned, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing and your national food supply. The final pillar that we promote together is resilient. How can we as countries be resilient in the face of the shocks that seem to come more and more frequently every day? These are the things that transcend borders, and we have to tackle them together. I think climate change and health crises are two of the most obvious ones that we are facing right now. And the United States and Bangladesh are committed to addressing these challenges collectively. And by working together, we can build resilience and respond effectively to these global crises. I think our partnership during COVID-19 is probably one of the greatest examples. Early on in the crisis, when everyone was looking for PPE, for face masks and all of those things, Bangladesh stepped up and helped us in the United States. So even before I knew I was coming here as ambassador, I was wearing a face mask that was made here in Bangladesh. As things progressed, we also moved on and helped develop and partnered with Bangladesh to be able to fight COVID-19 here. We provided 115 million doses of free vaccines. We also provided $150 million to make sure those vaccines got into the arms that they needed with the cold chain storage and with the monitoring. And we trained more than 50,000 healthcare workers here to administer those vaccines and to track. I'm not saying that to say we solved this problem. No, we helped Bangladesh solve this problem because it was Bangladesh's. I'm still amazed at how you got so high of a vaccination rate, given how difficult transport is and how remote some of the communities are here. And that was all Bangladesh's work and expertise in being able to deliver the vaccine to people. We're now starting to look at how to partner with Bangladesh on combating dengue, or I guess dengue is how it's pronounced here. And we're working with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to help look at this and how we not only help Bangladesh deal with it this year, but put in the system in place to combat it next year and in the future. On climate, we're also partnering closely with the government of Bangladesh, both through individual projects on how to promote renewable energy, how to improve the national electricity grid, how to promote renewable energies, but also how to attract investment here to be able to do that. We're hosting in the coming weeks a regional program called the Climate Action Champions Network. And we're partnering with 4 countries to bring together young leaders to undertake climate action initiatives in the region. And it will include 100 participants from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka to think about how students and youth leaders in this region can combat climate change. So, coming back to this theme of cooperation, it's important to remember when we think about these 5 pillars that peace is not just merely the absence of conflict, but it's the presence of cooperation, of understanding, and of shared prosperity. Our ambition reflects a commitment to action, to work collaboratively for peace, for a world where peace and sustainability go hand in hand. So in closing, I urge you as the future leaders of Bangladesh, of the region, and of the world to take this theme of cooperation and mutual understanding to heart. Your ambition, creativity, and determination will play a vital role in achieving the global goals. So I ask you to be advocates for peace, to be forces for democratic ideals, to be champions of connectivity, and to be ambassadors of prosperity. Through your actions, each individual action can help make our world a more peaceful, connected, and prosperous place for all. Thank you very much, and may your ambition for the global goals and peace and prosperity drive you to create a better world for Bangladesh and everyone. Thank you.